the weight of the empty chair. The silence in the small apartment was now a physical thing, a thick, smothering blanket woven from memory. It pressed down on Elias, heavy and absolute, amplifying the incessant dull ache in his chest, the one that felt less like a metaphorical wound and more like a truth. His rib cage was cracked and weeping sorrow. It had been 3 months since Mira had left. No dramatic fight, no shouting match, just a quiet, devastating realization from her side that their paths had diverged. "I love you, but I'm not in love with you," she'd whispered, a clinical statement that severed their shared future as neatly as a surgeon's scalpel. Elias sat on the faded floral sofa they had picked out together, his gaze locked on the empty chair across the small, worn coffee table. That was her chair, the one she'd curl up in with a worn book and a mug of tea. The one that perfectly framed her laughter when he'd told a foolish joke. Now it was just wood and fabric, its emptiness radiating a cold so profound it sank deep into his bones. He hadn't cried in weeks. The tears had simply run out, replaced by a hollow exhaustion. He went through the motions of life, work, eat, sleep, but it felt like watching a film of his own existence from a great distance. Every song on the radio, every familiar street corner, every mundane task was a cruel, sharp reminder of what was lost. He saw her face in the steam of his morning coffee, heard her voice in the metallic clink of the keys hanging unused by the door. One evening, he tried to cook their favorite meal, lamb stew. He followed the recipe religiously, but when he tasted it, it was flavorless, a mush of salt and regret. He slammed the wooden spoon down, the small sound echoing like a gunshot in the silent room. "Why can't I even do this?" he muttered, his voice ragged. He walked over to the chair, reaching out to touch the armrest where her hand used to rest. He didn't find comfort, only the stark reality of her absence. It was then, standing over the emptiness, that the true weight of the heartbreak hit him. It wasn't just the loss of a person, it was the loss of the future they had built, brick by imaginary brick, the future where he wasn't alone, where that chair wasn't empty, where his heart still knew how to beat without the crushing weight of grief. He didn't shatter, he just stood there, breathing in the smell of the ruined stew and the dust of forgotten joy, letting the broken shards of his life settle around him. He knew he wouldn't get over it soon, but as the night deepened, he made a silent vow. He wouldn't let the weight of the empty chair crush him completely. He would carry the pain, this broken rib of a heart, until slowly, painstakingly, it started to knit itself back together.